be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh.
How's it going, guys? Tay Salamander here, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions once again for Bleach chapter 535. This chapter is everything but the rain, and pretty much the chapter starts off with we seeing Masaki, with the hollow hole in her, and she's being, slowly taken over by the hollow itself and everything. But as that's happening, Kisuke, it's like Kisuke twice. Kisuke, Isshin, and Ryuga are talking, and pretty much Kisuke's telling me pretty much he's been researching this thing for almost over 100 years. Pretty much they're saying 100 years and everything. Look at your age. Pretty much he tells them that he's Kisuke Urahara, former captain. Well, he didn't say everything, but Kisuke Urahara, former captain of Squad 12, that he was exiled from Soviet society and everything and whatnot. Pretty much she goes on to tell Isshin and Ryuga pretty much what's happening to her. Pretty much is holification, that the experiments are happening to her, which breaks down pretty much a soul and turning them into a hollow. Pretty much this technique is pretty much used basically on Shinigami and not really Quincy, based on humans. So the procedure is pretty much different from most. Then we get an explanation of pretty much the holification is breaking down to soul suicide, pretty much in a term any person from a normal person what they are, their powers are into it, hollow holification and everything. And it pretty much shows that the viruses are one prime example of being, soul suicides, of being holifications, experiments by Aizen's tricky ass. And pretty much, long story short, pretty much Kisuke pretty much has a way to save Masaki from this. Pretty much Kisuke said pretty much he's created a vaccine pretty much that he can use he created a fucking vaccine from the Quincy's bows and Quincy's arrows and bows pretty much, and that he can inject into Musaki to pretty much save her. But pretty much that's not the only step to this of saving her. Pretty much that in order to do this, Isshin has to pretty much be inside this, I guess, Gigai, special kind of shell Gigai. But doing this, he will lose all his powers. He won't be a Shinigami anymore. He won't have his powers. He won't be able to see hollows anymore. So this is assuming in the present time, I believe this is how he lost his powers, because being inside the shell, he couldn't see, hollows. He couldn't be a Shinigami anymore. So pretty much this is the reason why he regretted he couldn't save Musaki 20 years ago, because he didn't have his powers, and pretty much he couldn't see any hollows or anything. So pretty much he was a useless human at the time. So yeah, pretty much Ryuga's pretty much thinking like this is crazy. Pretty much Quincy's and Shinigami are two different beings that pretty much Isshin's not gonna do anything to say this Quincy, like she's nothing to him pretty much. But that's where you're wrong, Ryugan. And pretty much Isshin said pretty much, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. Just give me the long story short, just let me do it and everything. And pretty much Kisuke said, are you sure about this? Do you have any regrets? Isshin said, sure, I have any regrets, but pretty much if I don't do this for the person that saved my life, I won't be able to live for tomorrow's sake. So pretty much he goes for it and everything. In the chapter, pretty much we see Masaki, the hollow is about to engulf her, transform her into a, I guess, spider Quincy almost. But before the hollow about to, calm down on her or whatever, Isshin's spirit, his spiritual being of himself comes in there and pretty much saves her. Pretty much said, hey, I'm coming here to protect you. And that's where the chapter ends for 535. Overall, it was a good chapter. It was just mostly a build-up chapter. No fighting, nothing happened. No fighting, nothing. Pretty much just laid back, getting an explanation of more what the holification is and everything, and seeing where the things are going from this point on. I'm guessing maybe this is one more chapter or so on the flashback, then we get back to the present. But it's good to see this flashback. Things are finally revelating to what happened in the past. That pretty much Kisuke gave Isshin this special like shell gi guy. He got into it. He lost all his powers. He lost being Shinigami. He couldn't see spirits. He couldn't see even hollows anymore. So pretty much he was an ordinary human that could pretty much, he lost his wife 20 years ago because of the special gi guy he was in. He couldn't save her at the time. Pretty much, I thought it was the final Getsugaten show that he lost the power, but I guess it was this. But let me know what you thought of the chapter. What did you think of it? As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day.